Episode 4057, Real is Greater Than Perfect.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous weekend. Can you believe it? We're almost to mid-May. I know, don't freak out, but I'm freaking out. So don't freak out for me. That's what we got to do. But it's all about your marriage today, who you're sleeping with. Is it going well? Well, you know what? Real is greater than perfect. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter. The Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. So how is it? Like, seriously, how's it with your spouse? Are you doing well? Are things on the rocks? Like, where are you? Because I really do think we need to take those assessments, not necessarily hanging out with it every single week, but we need to be real with where we are. Because if we're not, then we're living this ideal life that we can never live up to. You know, marriage is often painted as this ultimate partnership, two becoming one, right? I mean, we want that deep down, right? That's the big dream, sharing everything and fully supporting each other. But, and it's a big but, the truth is too many spouses lose sight of themselves along the way. We start doing everything our partner wants, changing how we dress, altering how we act in public, shelving our own dreams for theirs, meeting their needs while our own are quietly ignored. Somewhere between I do and we forget the real is greater than perfect. And if you look back, I mean, dating was different. We were curious, right? That curiosity, eager to discover everything about our partner, putting our best foot forward. But after the vows, the natural rhythms shift. And not because commitment demands it, but because life's messiness and daily demands pull our focus into 1,000 different directions, especially toward our spouse's needs. I mean, think back. What has happened since you got married? I know it might be longer for some than others. For me, it was a long time ago. And I really have to think about it. You know, what was it like? What did you change? You know, when you said I do, what happened within that first year? Did you start buying different clothes? I know you're thinking, I don't remember. That was like 35 years ago. Okay, that's fine. Take a deep breath. It's all right. Don't get, all bent out of shape. But I want to tell you, these simple things that you don't think are a big thing become a big thing deep down. And what happens is it's these little holes that are put in your heart saying, I'm not good enough. I thought you thought of me this way. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh. The expectations have shifted. The goalposts have moved. And now you're like, who am I? What am I supposed to, live up to? What are those expectations? Was it change for the better? Maybe. Maybe your clothes were a little wild. I'm just saying. If you were in the 80s, you're now in the 2000s, maybe you need to do a little shifting. Okay, come on, just be funny here with me. What changed that you didn't wish had happened? What shifted? What changed that you never thought you would be there in that season? And it may have nothing to do with you. It may have to do with your kids or your spouse. The situation called life, the things that came at you, you're like, I never prayed for this. Like, this is not what I ever thought would be my white house with a white picket fence with 2.4 children and everything just positioned perfectly, a career that I loved. Maybe you found out you hate your career. And now you're sitting there going, oh my goodness, that all happens right when you and after you say, I do. And somehow you look at your partner looks at you like, you got to figure this out. Notice how I said that. You got to figure this out. It's not we. Now it becomes more of a fault and a failure than it does, I'm just making a change. I'm just making a shift or a pivot. Again, a deeper hole in the heart. It's hard, right? It really is. And marriage takes work. If you haven't figured that out by now, and you have if you've been married over 15 years, seriously. It takes work. It takes commitment. You've got to get up and say, I want to love this crazy person, quirks and all. Because, yep, they're made for me. Just as they should be getting up saying, oh, want to love this crazy woman. She's made for me. Quirks and all. But we don't do that. We have this big scoreboard that's so bright. I think about the Stanley Cup and those who are going for it, going, okay, I got to get this. We're 1-0 or 4-2 or whatever it is. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, how am I going to get back on track? And then sometimes you get so far deep down, you don't even know who you are. And that becomes a whole nother conversation. Because things start to come out and boil up within you that you never thought you would experience, let alone have to face. And then you don't know what to do with it because you're standing there going, I don't know who I am. And you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, I'm growing old. I got greater lines. What's in my closet doesn't fit me. I hate my career. The kids are driving me crazy. I got to deal with the dinner dishes and dogs. What am I to do? That's called real life. And it's hard. That's the reality. But there's hope. There's hope. I don't want you to think that there's not. Supporting your partner is crucial, but not at the expense of losing who you are, your passions, your voice, your growth, who you are becoming. That's vital. God never said that when you got married, you're supposed to take away all of who he designed you to be. We forget that part. But he is saying you need to come together because you're better together. But you've got to be willing to do things together. So don't you think it's time to get real? That is your kiss to keep it simple strategy. Get real. Stop hanging out with these expectations that you will not ever live up to. And that may mean having some hard conversations with your spouse. That may mean letting some things go within your own self. That's all right. You may need to go and call a therapist after this. That's okay. We all need a coach. We all need a therapist. We all need help. But let me tell you, make sure you know that they can actually help you. I'm just putting that out there because sometimes you get someone that's caught up in their own thing and they really haven't either experienced or they don't know. And it sounds good with whatever they write, but they really don't understand. And you don't get anywhere but just deeper within your own ditch. So be careful of that. But you got to get real. Because real is greater than perfect. We try to live up to these standards. We try to have our Cinderella moments, right? Not having to deal with the dinner dishes and dogs, and now we're this beautiful princess. You are a beautiful princess, but you're still going to have to deal with the dinner dishes and dogs. You don't get to give those up. They're adorable, by the way, the dogs, they're cute. If you have kitty cats, I love them too. But we got to get real. So what does it look like in real life to keep yourself whole in marriage without turning selfish? Because real is greater than perfect. Number 1, set boundaries that protect you. Boundaries aren't walls. They're guardrails. They're saying, I'm not going to let you go beyond this, right? They're the lines that keep you healthy and sane. And we all need to have some sanity in our life. Whether it's carving out time for your hobbies or asking for space to think. Maybe you need to just say, my day on Saturday morning, you got the kids because I'm going to sit here in my chair and I'm reading. It's my time. It's my space. Great. Work that out. You may not be able to do it every Saturday, right? What if you have a wedding on that Saturday? Well, it's not going to work. If you have a graduation, if you have a baptism, something special at church, it's Christmas or Easter weekend, whatever. You've got to be able to be flexible too. So don't think that when you ask for something that you're going to get it all the time, right? That's setting up these false expectations of your spouse, and that can derail your marriage also. Maybe you need to simply say, when something's overwhelming you, and instead of saying, yeah, I'm gonna do this, say, no, I can't. Boundaries ensure you don't dissolve into your spouse's world completely. You got to have boundaries for your friends, boundaries at work. You got to have boundaries at home too. And that doesn't mean that you are saying, cutting you out of this, like we're not in this together. No, you're not. You're just saying, work with me here. And understand it's a two-way street, so they get to ask the same thing. So don't just think that you get to ask for it, but they get to ask for it too. It's okay to say, I need this time to recharge. I need a break. I'm going to take a bath tonight. You got the kids. And if that means you're going to take a 45-minute bath, then go take your 45-minute bubble bath. Read a book and join music. Unless if there's blood or flood, don't interrupt me. My phone's on mute. You see, real marriage isn't about losing yourself. It's about showing up as your best selfie. Because when you are your best, you bring in the best within your marriage. And that means you as a couple are your best. And that's when you're like a team that is unbeatable. And when people say, wow, that's the power couple, that's how you become the power couple. Not because you're trying to live up to these expectations. Number 2, keep your dreams on the table. Marriage is not an excuse to put your goals on hold. It's not. You may have to put a pause on them, or they might change a little bit, but you got to talk openly about what you want, your career, your passions, right? The goals that you're going after, your dreams, and work toward them alongside your spouse. It's not just about you, right? You also have to support theirs. My husband and I, when we were dating, I knew his direction and he knew mine. However, my direction changed and his did not. And we did that, committed together. We were on our way to postgraduate school and we wanted to go out there and impact the world. And he was a year ahead of me and I was all for him. And I said, this is great. And I was going to be a year behind him. And then we found out I was pregnant with our first baby. I didn't have family near me. My mom and dad were in Belgium. That's a long ways away for help. I mean, it'd be lots of time for them to get over there, even if it was a blood or a flood. I'm just saying. And we didn't have cell phones back then. Text messaging did not exist. So the support there was like, what do you do? Well, I made a decision, a hard decision. And then we made it together. I had to come to the conclusion for myself. And so I said, no, this I'm willing to give up because I know the importance of it. And to this day, I know it was the right decision. Do I sit there and wonder what it would have been like? Of course I do. I'm human. But I don't blame him and I don't blame my daughter. It was my decision. And then we agreed together. And we went forward with it. We didn't look back. So my dreams changed, yes, but I still had dreams on the table. They just looked a little bit different. Supporting each other's growth makes your bond stronger, not weaker. When you stay committed to your future, you bring more energy and passion. And you're real, right? You're authentic in your relationship, in your marriage, and that's what you want. You should be able to be the most real with your husband. I mean, like more than anybody else, better than even your best friend. And if you can't, I really encourage you to think about that. We're not going to go into that now because that's going to derail us and we're going to get to a whole nother episode. We'll be here for another 3 years. But we need to focus on this one for right now. Real is greater than perfect. Keep your dreams on the table. Shift accordingly, but do it together. And then finally, number 3, communicate honestly, the good and the uncomfortable. Perfect spouses say only what is expected or what will please. Think about that for a minute. Real spouses talk about how they truly feel, their frustrations, their hopes, their needs. It's not always about this is what it is, this is how it has to be. It's this is where I'm at. How can we do this together? I'm flustered here. How can we change this? What are our hopes together? Where are we going together? This is how trust deepens. Love deepens. Don't bury who you are under the weight of keeping the peace. Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it? Because if you're a people pleaser, and honestly, most people are because we're human, we want that acceptance, and we especially want it within the privacy of our own home. But we can do it to the point where we lose who we are, all for keeping the peace. Speak your truth gently, but firmly. Have that confidence. So your spouse comes to know you, not this polished version robot of who you think they want you to be. You're not AI. I'm just saying. You're a human being. You need to be treated well and kindly, just as they need to be treated well and kindly. It's a two-way street. And you might be saying, Christiane, this sounds great, but I don't think I could get my spouse on board. I get it. It takes 1 to start and 2 to finish. So be the role model. Start leading with how you want to have these conversations. You sometimes have to be a little bold even though you don't want to be. And then there'll be the shift and your spouse will be like, something's changing here. What's different? Then that opens up the door, even if it's just a crack, for you to go in a little bit further and say, well, I really think we need to be talking about this. We haven't been, but I think we need to be focusing on this. What do you think? Remember, own what is yours to own. Don't try to put them in your box. They have to own their own stuff. My friend, marriage shouldn't ask you to be anything but your real self, your best self, even if that self is messy, evolving, and a lot of times imperfect. Striving for perfection in your role as spouse is a lose-lose game. It just is. You'll exhaust yourself. I mean, you're going to be so tired all the time. And it has nothing to do with what you're eating, lack of hydration, you're not exercising. No, it has to do with your heart. Exhaustion can come from a broken heart. And your relationship is going to shrink under pressure if you keep living that way. So instead, choose to be real. Be the messy, human, evolving person worthy of love and respect and kindness, who keeps growing, who keeps dreaming, who keeps their boundaries, who says, you know what, this is who I am, but this is also who I am becoming. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present, authentic, and whole. Real is greater than perfect. And that's the kind of love that lasts. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.